Do you ever go online, scroll through TikTok or YouTube and think, wow, everyone's trying to sell me something today? Some of these things seem too good to be true.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
Every day I see a random new niche wrapping some kind of basic advice into a $2,000 course. And it seems like when I go on social media, there are weird scammy things all over the place that didn't really used to exist. Not everything is a scam. It is much more prevalent on the internet, but just enough of the internet has gotten scammy that when I go online, I just feel a little jaded and a little skeptical when I see someone talking about how much money they make. Today, I want to break down the different types of scams we're surrounded by. They're kind of half scams, not true scams where someone is straight up stealing your phone and taking your money, but things that are just not really worth it and that maybe some people get value out of, but the vast majority, it's a waste of money. So we're going to start with the course economy because that is what inspired me to make this whole episode. It used to be, back in the day on YouTube when I first started, a lot of people would post online just simply to share information, maybe make a little bit of ad revenue, but it was kind of just the goodness of their heart and for fun. Now it feels like today when you're scrolling, they'll tell you just enough to hook you, and then they'll say, comment below, guide for my free ebook. Said ebook is just trying to upsell you on a $2,000 course. People aren't really just giving the information freely anymore. It's always trying to sell the information now. So here's the truth about courses. The completion rate is tiny. Last I heard, it was about 8%. And the people that do finish them typically didn't need a course to begin with. They're self-motivated enough they could have figured it out on their own. This TikTok kind of explains it well.
8% of people that pay for an online program will make it through successfully. Now here's the catch. That 8%, it doesn't matter who the creator is, what the course is. That's an industry standard all the way across. Doesn't matter how good the course is or how bad the course is. So that tells us something. It's not about the course, it's about the person taking the course. Courses don't work. People make courses work.
Courses are really interesting because it's a way to monetize information that is already online for free. Basically, every course, you could just find the same stuff online for free if you did some digging. A course is basically a shortcut. Most of them do not have some proprietary, crazy information that is exclusive to that person. Now, some do, and to be honest, if they have that, that could be kind of worth it. But most courses, it's just someone sharing stuff that they already learned online for free, just a more condensed version. So the course is essentially a shortcut. The value is that it's all in one place and you don't have to go searching around. And so if you're someone who has a very high net worth and you don't want to spend a second of time searching and you just want it all in one place, sure, maybe it's worth it. But the vast majority of people who fall prey to sketchy courses are being sold on a dream to make more money, to get them out of a situation where they don't have enough. They maybe have just scraped enough to buy this course and it's going to be a waste for some of them. I'm not saying all courses are bad. I'm just saying today there's so many of them and I just don't believe that all of them are good. So courses really, they're a shortcut, but sometimes that shortcut isn't even that good or it's kind of outdated. Courses are often selling people on a dream that is oversaturated now. So it'll be something like drop shipping that maybe back in 2018, not that many people knew about. You could make a lot of money without spending a lot on ads, for example. Today, people are selling courses on it because it's not as profitable to be a drop shipper. It's way more competitive and they're making more money selling the course than they are from drop shipping. That's the thing with courses. Anytime I see one, I'm like, oh, that thing's oversaturated now. Noted, I'm not even going to bother with it. Because why would you spend your time making a course, teaching more people how to do it, making more competitors for yourself if it's really that profitable? You wouldn't. Courses have been around for a while and I didn't really pay it much mind because, you know, it'd be niche things and I would barely ever come across it. But the annoying thing is today, it's like I'll be scrolling on the Instagram Reels page and I feel like everything is saying comment, guide, comment, eat for my clean eating ebook, whatever, trying to sell you on the most random course. Like it almost feels unavoidable now. Like everyone's trying to sell a course, which we'll get into why that is later. But the good thing about them is you don't have to buy them. This is a quote unquote half scam, I like to call it, because you could get some value out of it. It's not a total Ponzi scheme or something like that. It's just, in my opinion, not super worth it. And for a lot of people, it's a waste of money. And the thing is, they are everywhere now. These used to be pretty few and far between, but anytime I'm scrolling on Instagram Reels, I feel like everything is trying to sell me on some kind of course. And I really don't mean to call these people out. I have no idea what their course entails. Maybe it's super worth it. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to make the point that it's really prevalent when you go on the internet now. It feels like a lot more people are trying to sell you on a course. One thing that's really common with selling courses and other things that are just in general kind of sketchy is they won't outright lie, but they will cherry pick data and mislead you with the information. So for example, if it is a drop shipping course, a lot of times they will show screenshots of their revenue, but that's not the full picture. They might show they made $100,000 in revenue, but they're usually not going to show you that they spent $50,000 on inventory, $10,000 on shipping, $20,000 on advertising, and the real profit is only $10,000. For a lot of risk, they had to spend a lot of money just to get that small amount of profit. Just an example. If people knew the true profit margin, they might not buy the course. They might realize, oh, this is a lot of work and it's not as great as it first sounded. It's not just drop shipping though. Real estate influencers do it too. Like they'll show you that they make $20,000 a month on Airbnb, but they won't show any of the expenses. Or they'll just show the mortgage, which you guys, if you watch my Airbnb content, you know that is not all of the expenses. And so you're not really getting the full picture. Stock traders or people selling a day trading course, they'll show the wins, but they're not going to show the 10 times they lost money. Day trading, that's got to be like the worst kind of course you could buy, in my opinion. And then there are courses where it just seems like basic information. Like I found this one where it's a course on investing in index funds, which if you know about investing in these, it's really simple to do. It is not difficult. I mean, maybe the information isn't bad, but I just don't know why you would need a course on it. The good thing actually about courses is that you don't have to partake. You can just scroll past it. You never need to actually buy one. No one's forcing you to do it. It's a little bit annoying seeing so many of them now, but it's not like I have to spend my money on it. The thing that really is unfortunate in today's day and age is the scams that have become so big. I like to call them institutional scams, and I am dying to get into these, but let me quickly thank the sponsors first. First up, I gotta give a shout out to How to House. This is a website that Monica, my sister, created where you can find a really good realtor in your area. So if you're looking to buy a home, if you are moving to a new area and you don't know any realtors in the area, I know it can be weird to trust Google. Like, is it good? Are these reviews legit? This is more like getting a recommendation from a friend because Monica has vetted them all. And it's totally free. There's no upsell here. You're not going to get charged. So yeah, it's free. It's called howtohouse.com. You can either like send a little message or fill out the quick little quiz. So if you're looking to buy or sell real estate and you need a good realtor, you don't know really where to look for that, check out howtohouse.com. I'll have it down below. Next, I want to thank Cure Hydration. I have been obsessed with the Cure Hydration packets all summer. Staying hydrated isn't just about drinking water. Our bodies also need electrolytes. And that's where Cure comes in. It's a plant-based, doctor-approved electrolyte drink mix. It's made with clean ingredients and it's only 25 calories per serving. So there's no added sugar. It just has a little bit of sugar from the actual fruit. It tastes good. It's just my favorite tasting electrolyte drink mix. Especially the grapefruit and the blood orange are my favorite flavors. I've been loving taking these packets to go play tennis because it has been so hot out. And I notice a difference if I don't have my electrolyte drink packet. I feel more fatigue after. What's really cool is Cure's formula is based on the World Health Organization's standard for oral rehydration. So it hydrates as effectively as an IV drip. It's really no wonder 75% of Americans are dehydrated. It's because water alone isn't enough, but Cure makes it simple. For step-by-step listeners, they're offering 20% off your first order. Just go to curehydration.com/Shelby and use the code Shelby at checkout. That's curehydration.com/Shelby, code Shelby at checkout. And I recommend the grapefruit and blood orange. Those are my favorites. I also want to thank Viore for sponsoring this episode, which is so exciting because I've been a fan of Viore for a while. I'm always wearing their tennis stuff. I have one of their tennis dresses that I love. Viore right now has this dream knit jogger that is so comfy and very versatile. You know, you can wear it working out, but you can also wear it just running errands. In general, I feel like that's true of a lot of Viore's stuff. You could wear it working out, but you can wear it just living your life, which is awesome and it's cute. The performance jogger has a lightweight and relaxed fit, but it is also moisture wicking. So if you want to wear it while working out, it is still good for that. So Vuori is actually offering 20% off your first purchase to my listeners. You can go to vuori.com/Shelby. That is vuori.com/Shelby to get that 20% off. Not only do you get 20% off your first purchase, but you can also get free shipping on any US orders over $75 and free returns. Exclusions apply. You can visit the website for full terms and conditions. And we're back. Now let's talk about the biggest scams, the ones that are unfortunately built into our society. Healthcare has got to be the craziest scam that there is. I've done a whole episode about healthcare, but it just has to be repeated. Healthcare in America is an obvious scam. I mean, getting charged $900 for a Tylenol is ludicrous. Okay, so it's not actually $900 for a Tylenol, but still $15 for one individual pill is still pretty ridiculous. And $800 for a water IV bag that costs $1. All of these things are just marked up astronomically. The administrative bloat where hospital CEOs are making millions of dollars a year while patients have to take out a loan to pay for a surgery. The thing about healthcare is you can't opt out of it. It affects us all. We all have to eventually go to the doctor, or we'll have something that we have to pay for. And that's what makes it so insidious. There's the surprise billing. Even if you try and get an estimate beforehand, a lot of times you're slapped with a higher bill after. I mean, I went to an urgent care. I made sure everything was in network. They still charged me $500 for a sinus infection. We all pay for health insurance, but what is it paying for? Because every time I go to the doctor, I still have to pay. The system is just so big that no one person now can really change it, and it's really confusing. They really wear you down to the point that you just end up paying it. A lot of times these bills that you get sent, they're just trying to see what they can get away with. Sometimes they add in procedures that didn't even happen. If you get a crazy medical bill, you always have to ask for an itemized bill, and the thing is, they make it very time consuming and annoying to actually pay the appropriate amount that you're supposed to pay. They pretty much always overcharge you and bill your insurance some insane amount that they would never charge you if you're paying cash. It's the fact that you can't really shop around that is so crazy. You can never really get a solid estimate of what something is going to cost, especially if it's a bigger procedure. You can even go to a hospital that is in network, but then the doctor is out of network, so you end up with a bill. And they don't have to tell you this before. You just, surprise, it's $1,000. Or this kind of new practice of charging a facility fee if you go to a hospital. This is what happened when I went to an urgent care that was within a hospital. They ended up tacking on a $300 facility fee, even though it was a really simple visit. And no, they did not tell me they were going to do this beforehand. If anything is out of network and you're going to have to pay for it, they should have to disclose that before they do anything. The way that they price things it makes no sense. They'll bill the insurance a ridiculous amount to make it look like the insurance is getting you some discount when the insurance was never gonna pay that crazy amount to begin with. The fact that on average other companies are paying about half of what we pay for medical procedures tells us we're being overcharged. And actually, if you just paid in cash, you'd probably get the biggest discount of all. And then there's the pharmaceutical drug pricing. I mean, $300 for a vial of insulin that you can get for $10 in Mexico. This one is the most evil scam of them all. And because it's just how it's been for a long time now, we've sort of just accepted it as a way of life and forget that no, this is a total scam. The system is just profiting off of your sickness and injuries. It's insane. I don't like to just complain. I like to make us aware of things, but you can always ask for an itemized bill. You can ask what the cost is before. I always try to, even though sometimes it ends up being more. You can negotiate or appeal charges. You can even ask about charity care if you make under a certain amount. Like, they do allocate money to that. And if you have to buy a pharmaceutical drug, always check if it's on Mark Cuban's drug website. Cost Plus Drugs has everything at an actually normal price. It's much more transparent. They make a little bit of profit, but an appropriate amount, not like 1,000% profit margin. It'll be like 10 to 15%. And honestly, if you get overcharged somewhere, leave a public review. That's what I did when I got super overcharged. Gotta warn people to look out. So yeah, it's unfortunately not just on the internet. Probably the biggest scam ever in history is one that all of us in America have to deal with, unfortunately. There's another institutional, I would say, half scam, and that is college. College isn't totally worthless, but it is a huge ripoff, most of them at least. The price tag is just absurd. It used to be more affordable, but like many things, prices just haven't kept up with inflation, and so now it's what, like $80,000 a year to go to some private schools in America? Crazy. And actually, the cost of college tuition is way more than the rate of inflation. Of course, there are options that are cheaper. You could go to community college and then transfer to a state school. That's probably the most economical way to go about it. It's not the most fun. It's definitely not the cool college experience you see in the movies. So at least there is that option. I feel like people forget. You don't have to go to a private school that's like 80 grand a year. You can find it cheaper. There's always that cheaper route. Back in the day, I think people could actually pay for part or all of their college with a part-time job. Way back in the day. I'm talking when like my parents went to college. But today, if you have to pay for college yourself, you're graduating with tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And the thing is, banks love this system. For banks to make money, they need people taking out loans. And so I think that's why we have this crazy system and why college is made to seem so important when it's not really the thing that's going to get you a job anymore. Yet, it still feels like this standard to get an entry-level job because everyone basically gets a degree. You feel like you have to do it and you have to take out these loans. And this is a huge industry. I mean, this is something that low-key America is built on, not just mortgages, but college loans. A lot of wealth creation is happening, but not for the people that got the college degree, for the banks. I kind of think this is why the college system still seems important when truly there's so much information for free online anymore. Like, you don't need college to learn. If you want to learn something, you can Google it, or you can find it. You can find even college resources online for free. Like Stanford has a YouTube channel with all this like free information. I'm not saying Google is the same as a college degree or not to go to college. I'm just saying it's different than back in the 70s when, you know, we didn't have computers and that was kind of the only way to learn certain things. Today, you can find college lectures online for free, and yet our society still places an importance on a college degree. Why? I kind of think because they want people taking out loans. So there's a reason that so many scams exist, and it's not because everyone is super greedy. I actually think it's because of the wealth inequality gap getting bigger and bigger. You know, the traditional 9 to 5 just doesn't cut it anymore if you want to own a house in a major city. Back in the day, you could be a teacher, a plumber, a mailman, and you'd get a retirement, like a pension, you could buy a house. Like, you had a decent life and you didn't feel like you even needed to strive for some side hustle. It was just enough because wages were at a good place with the cost of living. But today, the cost of living has just so outpaced wages. The inflation's just crazy that people are turning to these alternative methods of making money. Sometimes it's not even because they're like really trying to make millions of dollars. It's because they hate their job and they see this as the ticket out. And can you blame them? I honestly think that if everyone just had a job that paid them enough for the lifestyle that they liked, there wouldn't be these weird ways of making money, because I don't think this is anyone's passion project, really. I think it is truly just to make a quick buck. And the thing is, because so many people are in this position where they just are finding that their 9 to 5 job isn't enough for the lifestyle maybe that they want, it makes it easier for people to sell these courses because they're always selling people on a dream of like making more money. It all comes down to the wealth inequality gap. A lot of the money is going to the top 0.001%, while everyone else finds it harder to survive. You can see from these graphs, while there is more wealth in America than ever, more of it is just going to a smaller group of people, which is why it's harder for the average person to afford the cost of living. And people are finding they need to do these alternative ways of making money. The ecosystem of selling courses is just funneling money around between this bottom 90%. It's not at all redistributing the money from the 0.001% at all, because the people who are buying courses are in that bottom 90%. Again, I think if we had a strong middle class and people could just afford the life they want, like a normal, not even like anything crazy luxurious, but just a normal life where they own a house, there wouldn't really be that many scams, and there wouldn't be as many people who want to buy them either, because they'd be like, well, I got a good life. I don't need to do this random business. And then there's the weirdest of them all, the crypto investing tech scams.
Did you know that around 80% of all of the cryptocurrency companies that have ever been created have turned out to be frauds or scams? Did you also know that over 50% of all of the cryptocurrencies have failed or been abandoned.
These are just so obvious. I don't know who is falling for these. So I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I don't necessarily think that Bitcoin is a scam. I do think it's risky, but not a scam in my opinion. But these altcoins, so like the Paul brothers making some kind of coin, any celebrity that made a coin, like Kim Kardashian, for example, she was paid to promote a coin. It wasn't her own coin, but she didn't disclose that she was paid $250,000 to do it. So she had to pay a $1.2 million fine to the SEC. Obvious scam. It's a pump and dump. They get people excited about it, investing their money into it, and then they cash out. And then the fans are left holding the bag, losing money. I mean, it's crazy that people did this. It's actually so effed up when you think about it, just like screwing over their fans. I can't imagine being okay with doing that. And then there were NFTs. Remember those? People paying for a JPEG? Like, what were we thinking? These just got so overhyped and people were spending thousands of dollars on a JPEG. Crazy to think. And now most of them are worthless, and even Christie's auction house is shutting down their department for NFTs. I didn't buy any, but like, COVID was getting to people. The craziest one to me was metaverse real estate. People trying to sell real estate in the metaverse. The only reason real estate is valuable is because there's a limited supply of it. The metaverse is infinite. You could just make more land. It's the dumbest thing. Even outside of crypto, there are these other niche, like financial sort of scams, like courses on day trading, very risky Forex scams, which is basically where you're trading currencies. So there's like MLMs for these, multi-level marketing. In my opinion, anything that's not boring financial advice, like investing in index funds that just grow slowly over time, anything that's not that, is sketchy. So here's the hopeful part of this whole thing. I feel like a lot of people are catching on to so many things feeling like a scam and feeling like they're always sold to. It's not working as well anymore. You know, the lead magnets, anything, once it's oversaturated like that, once everyone's telling you to download an ebook, people get it now and they're not going to do it. And so most likely, if people are less successful with these courses, they'll kind of start to go away. NFTs, that whole thing already collapsed. Crypto coins, I think a lot of people know that's sketch. As awareness spreads, scams lose their power. At least the ones on the internet. Unfortunately, the institutional ones we all know about, but I don't know how we fix those. It's like too far gone. I like to think there's hope somehow, some way. I don't know. Anyone got any ideas? How do we fix the healthcare system? I think there's a pendulum swing. People are appreciating just sharing information without constantly being sold to. We need more people just providing real value again because they want to, for fun. Because audiences are savvy. They know when they're being sold to, and they know when it's kind of sketchy. So in conclusion, not everything is a scam, but there sure are a lot of weird things out there that are just not worth your money and can be a bit misleading in their marketing. There are some creators who genuinely have good courses, but I think that's like 1 in 10. I think 9 out of 10 courses are a waste of money. The best thing you can do is stay skeptical, stay aware, go on Reddit if you see something that seems weird and look up if it's too good to be true. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Okay, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Enjoyed me ranting about scams. No, I really am trying to spread awareness because I don't want anyone to spend their money on something that's just like not worth it. Really, I wanted to spread awareness and just bring up the conversation because when people are aware of it, then you're not going to fall for it. You're going to spend your money wisely. That's it for today's episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.